Good evening and welcome to the Keep the Faith podcast. I am your host, Tori, and I have three amazing guests with me this evening. They're going to be talking about the charter schools in Timmonsville, South Carolina. Have Mr. Mark Parker, Dr. Regina. Now, Miss Regina, I do not know how to pronounce your last name, so I'm just going to say Dr. Regina. And also Miss Harriet. I don't know what happened to Miss Harriet's camera, but I want you guys to take the time to, before we get started on the topic, take the time to introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Those that may not know you, just share, tell us a little bit about yourself. Doesn't matter who starts.
Okay, I'll start. Normally I say ladies first, but I want to introduce the rest of them, then they can go forth and speak a little bit about themselves. First of all, thank you for allowing us to be a part of the Keep the Faith podcast. We certainly appreciate that, Ms. Tori, very kindly. I'm Mark Parker. I am an educator. I've been an educator for now approximately 24 years. So almost close to retirement, but I'm not retired. I am also an ordained elder and have two kids, married, two kids. I am a CTO, which is the Chief of Technology Officer and System Administration for school district in South Carolina. And I love what I do. We have two foundations, which one is the Widows Foundation, and the other one is the Council on Education, which is the umbrella to which we're pursuing the charter school with. And that's enough about myself. Now I have my chief of staff and my director with me, Dr. Regina Cipher and Mrs. Harriet Graham. And I'm going to open the floor now to them to introduce themselves.
I will go. Greetings, everyone, and thank you for being in audience with us this evening. I am Dr. Regina Cipher. I am a scientist, I am an educator, and I'm a policy strategist. I am certified in the state of South Carolina to teach secondary chemistry and biology. However, in the role that I play now, I'm more in the lane of educator preparation as well as development. I oversee leadership programs for K-12 and higher ed leaders, as well as STEM programming, both in formal and informal settings.
Hi, everyone. My name is Harriet Graham, and my background is criminal justice. I've been in the criminal justice department for 25 years. I just received my 25 service award. I'm so excited about that. Um, I've been working with the Council on Education since about 2018, 2019, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, thank you all for joining this evening. And like I said, I'm going to let you guys do most of the talking, but we're here to talk about the charter schools. Well, tell me, because I know Miss Charlene sent me the information. Tell me all about how this works, because my son graduated in 2024, so I no longer have children in school. So those that are out there listening that do not know about this program, inform us about it, because when Miss Charlene sent it to me, I was not aware of it. So please inform us of the program.
I'm blessed as being the chair. I have two lovely people here, and Dr. Jenna Cipher and Ms. Harriet Graham, who both are like my right hand. And of course, I'm not going to say a lot, but I'm going to allow this to be a shared effort. Don't you just love that? So therefore, we'll speak a little bit about a charter school. And once they're finished, then I'll come back and add anything. So Dr. Cipher, if you would speak a little bit to that for her.
Good evening again, everyone. Well, what a charter school is, a lot of people have the misconception of what a charter school actually is. Charter schools are public schools. Charter schools, coming to South Carolina, we have a state law that allows organizations in our state. You have to be a nonprofit organization, and you have to be authorized through one of three types of entities. One type of entity is the actual state's charter school district to be authorized to have a school. The other entity could be the school district in which the school is located. They can authorize the school. Or the third option is to go through one of our higher education entities, which right now are Erskine and Voorhees. So what a charter school does is it allows for the education to be diversified in terms of scope and mission. And a lot of the times, charter schools are meeting the needs of learners that the traditional public school system in that particular area is not able to meet. For example, the charter school that we have planned for Timminsville will help meet some workforce innovation development when it comes to STEM education in the rural context. A lot of our STEM schools are actually in suburban or urban areas. And so being able to diversify what does STEM look like in a rural setting is something that we're challenging ourselves to do, but then providing opportunities for the learners in that setting.
And I was going to ask, what sets the charter school apart from the traditional public schools? Like, why, like the parents that are listening, they may ask the question, why a charter school as opposed to the traditional public schools? And of course, I know with me personally, like I said, my son graduated in 2024, and I know when COVID hit, they were transitioning from his 8th grade year. When COVID came, they went to virtual learning. And me being a parent, once he started learning virtually, I made the choice. He was excelling virtually. I made the choice not to. He didn't go back into the traditional public school setting. He remained virtual till he graduated high school because I noticed how he was excelling tremendously. So, how do you explain to the parents? And then also, I want to ask the question: with the traditional public school, I can see there is a lot of bullying going on as well. So how do you compare the traditional public school with the charter schools? And then when you address things like bullying and things of that nature?
I'll start first with the charter school. And let me piggyback a little bit off what Dr. Cyber said. I think I may have missed this part. As she said, it is a public school and it's tuition free. However, the local tax base that goes with the child, it stays with the local school district. A charter school will not work without parent support. It will not work because, again, that pupil fund stays with that local school district, and only the federal funds or state funds will go with the child to the charter school. And one of the other things is when you address bullying, I'll address that, and then the ladies, y'all can address the others. With the charter school, you can accept applications to a charter school, and that's what a lot of charter schools do. You don't have to accept students. With the public schools, you cannot turn students away. And when I should say this, with the public general traditional school, you cannot turn students away. However, with the charter school, you can be very selective in who you get, which is one of the reasons why, and I'm going to use the high school league for a prime example. With the high school league, a lot of the traditional schools, they don't like charter schools because the charter school can go pick the cream of the crop. There is no attendance zone. Okay, so we're looking at establishing one in Timminsville, which is Florence County, but it also has a quote unquote an attendance area when it comes down to a regular public school. But when it comes down to a charter school, students from Marion could come. I'm just pulling from different places: Marion, Darlington, Hartsville, Bishopville, even Columbia. They can come because there is no specific attendance zone. You can choose students from whatever place that they're coming from. Look at schools such as Great Collegiate. Great Collegiate in Columbia. They have a vast amount of students coming from all over the place, which is why they've been so successful in their athletics. You look at Oceanside and at the beach, also very successful in athletics, which is one of the things that the high school league's been challenged with, and the regular public school has been kicking against, because we have to, as a public school, as a regular school, we have to accept whoever comes. But then with the charter school, they can select who they want. So that's a difference there. So when it comes down to bullying or any behavior issues, we don't have to accept that. We can have a no bullying policy, and if there's bullying, we can then turn you away. That's one part for addressing your question. Dr. Cipher or Ms. Harriet, you can address the other part, so I don't have to do all the talking.
I'll speak a little bit more. I do want to clarify that because charter schools are public schools, we do have to accept everyone. However, the school rules and the school culture can be articulated in a way in partnership, again, with the parents who help govern that school. That's another piece of the puzzle. Parents have to be a part of the board of a charter school. At least 50% of a charter school board has to be a parent of a student enrolled in the school. So it brings in that piece of parent governance. So in conjunction with having parent involvement, as well as focusing on leadership, and again, it being articulated in the school code and rules of governance, we can support learners in a unique way. Oftentimes, and I guess I know bullying is a huge topic right now. Oftentimes, it's because the students' needs aren't being met, either in the school setting or in the community. One thing that can make a charter school unique is that you can have innovative learning programming. Right. So you can focus on social emotional learning, leadership development, cultural embedment, right? So different ways to actually reach and teach and call out the purpose in the students who attend the school, and to be able to mold and guide them in ways that support their development. But that is one focus of our charter school is to really also not only do the workforce development and STEM education piece in a rural context, but to do the leadership development component as well.
Okay.
And
Because I know as a parent, oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, as a parent, I wasn't fully, I heard about charter schools when my son was probably a freshman in high school, but I did not fully understand it. So I wish you guys were around so I could ask the necessary questions, but I didn't fully understand it wasn't explained to me how the charter school operates. So I'm getting educated while you guys are speaking. And I apologize, Ms. Harriet, for cutting y'all. Go ahead and proceed.
Okay, I just wanted to say, just to piggyback on Dr. Regina, also the student to teacher ratio is a factor as well.
That's right. Absolutely. You have a lot of flexibility with a charter school.
Oh, and I like the fact that you guys say the parents are involved. I love that.
Yes.
Because I'm one of those parents that was heavily involved in my son's education, and would do, like, before he became virtual, I would do random pop-ups at school. I would do things. I was a very involved parent. So I like that aspect of it as well. And anything else that you want to inform you guys, everyone that's out there watching? Because I see some people coming on now.
As you know, and I'll say that, in Timminsville, without going so deep into the history of it, we all know that that the schools merged, the district merged. Florence 4 is no longer. Florence 4 merged with Florence 1. And so now it is all Florence 1. There's still the elementary wing there in Timminsville. So there is an elementary school there at the present. What we're looking at bringing, based on the surveys, because we did a survey. So based on the surveys, and that's a part of the charter school, that you have to survey the community to see where the interest lied. And so when we first started, we was looking at doing in high school based on Limestone with the company that we was dealing with. We're looking at doing a high school, but after the surveys, all the surveys came back, the parents were more interested in getting the middle school students back to Timmonsville, which is understandable. So therefore, we had to pivot a little bit to now looking at curriculums that will cater more towards our middle school students. Now, our goal and our hope is to occupy both wings at some point. And as Dr. Regina said, whenever you're doing the charter school, you have to do a letter of intent, as she said. And in that letter of intent, you have to do your bill, and y'all correct me, ladies, if I'm wrong, or add on to that. You have to do your start and then your build out. So therefore, we're starting with our 4th through 7th or 4th through 8th graders to try to bring those back based on the surveys. And then we will build up a grade, and then hopefully build down a grade. So the goal is to eventually have a full K through 12 charter school in Timmonsville in some capacity.
Okay. And then the other question I was going to add, that was one of the things I was going to ask too, if with the charter schools, is the curriculum different from the the traditional public school? Like, say if you have a student, because there are some students that may have an interest in math and science and may want to pursue careers and things like engineering, and then I heard Ms. Harriet mention about criminal justice as well. Is there, like, for certain students, is there a particular curriculum or how they enroll? How exactly does that work?
I'm going to defer to Dr. Regina, and then I'm going to add something to that. But
Okay.
Dr. Regina, if you would.
So while charter schools are held to the same academic standards
Right.
as traditional public schools, they are public schools. The difference is in how those standards are diffused into curriculum. Charter school boards have flexibility in which curriculum that they choose to use. The method that we would like to go into is, if we start in middle school and grow into high school, also implementing like dual enrollment programs where our learners are gaining post-secondary college credit in the process of going through and getting their high school credits. The curriculum, again, is the choice of that board. And again, that board must be at least half parents. So that is how you have more flexibility and more input into and what students are learning. But they are still held to the academic standards that are required by all public schools.
Okay.
And one of the things that we've been talking about, and we've talked to community leaders about, which is being a hub, being an educational hub where we can do some of the things that you're talking about, doing internships with Honda, getting Honda into the schools to do internships, learning environment, learning labs in the school, so that we can prepare our students, as Dr. Regina said, to be workforce ready. As you know, Scout just came to Columbia, and Dr. Cypher could speak to this, and they're looking for people that's workforce ready. And so with that being said, we want to be able to do merger, I would say, internships with not just Honda, but you have the battery plant I think it's in front of Wilson. You have also Nanyang. We can do internships with Nanyang. We can do internships also with West Rock. I think that's what it's called now. It used to be the paper mill. We can do internships even with Dollar General. We can do internships even with the city of Timmonsville. We can do internships with the Florence County Rec. Whoever will choose to partner with us, we have that flexibility to get some type of MOU with them. So therefore, we can help our students to get hands-on learning, to help them to be prepared.
And I like the fact about what you're saying about work ready, because there are some students that do not want to go to college. They want, say, finish school, they want to go ahead and start work. My son was one of those. Even though he graduated with top of his class, 4.4 GPA,
Mhm.
he knew in the 10th grade that college wasn't for him. So I think charter schools and these type of programs are beneficial to those students that want to be work ready and go into the workforce. I think that is great. Great to hear. Any other input? Because I'm learning as you guys are speaking.
Yes, and that's not to say that local school districts and even the district in which this proposed charter school is going to be, they offer dual enrollment programming, but oftentimes in the rural context, students don't have exposure opportunities. And so while we're seeing that down in middle schools, there's a push for specialization and students choosing career tracks. If they haven't been exposed and see the broader context of what they're learning and how that can go into a career path based on their skills, based on their interests and their talents, oftentimes they may be choosing something that's popular or that is driven by someone else's decision or influence and not really based on what they've had a chance to experience and develop. So again, the charter school that we're proposing also has that workforce development, internship exposure piece so that students are making better informed decisions when they leave college and career ready, but the choice is mine.
And with the charter schools, do the charter schools also offer, like with traditional public school, they have like the beta clubs. Do the charter school have those type of programs as well? Like the beta clubs and other, because I know Darlington High had a program for the males. It was something I can't remember the name of it, but for distinguished gentlemen, basically setting them up like for some students that may want to be entrepreneurs and things of that nature. So they offer those type of programs as well.
Yes, ma'am. Every charter school that is authorized has the ability to offer in school and out of school learning opportunities, just like our traditional public schools do. Again, charter schools are public schools. The only difference is that there isn't as much of a filter between the decision making, because the board of that school, again, is usually composed of at least 50% of those people have to be parents of the learners in that particular school. So the decision making, the influence is often a little bit greater than we would find in a traditional public school. So if there's an interest, right, if there is value for the students, the faculty and that board can decide that this is an opportunity for these students. We talked a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit more about the parent component. What we propose is that our parents are very much invested into this opportunity, actually requiring that there is going to be a service component, whether it is time resources or sharing their careers with our students. There will be a parental input, and there may be a parent that wants to actually lead out of school learning time programming where they have the ability to work with their students or the students in general with academic social clubs.
Okay. And I think one other thing that I was not aware of, you guys say that it's basically public school as well. But I thought, like I said, I did not know. I thought with the charter school that if you enroll your child in a charter school, that there was like a tuition for it as well. I was not aware that it was a free program as well.
Yes, ma'am. By state law, you cannot charge tuition to attend a charter school because it is a public school. I think, as our chair said, Chair Parker, the difference in funding with charter schools is that actually charter schools get less per pupil dollars allocated from the state because of the fact is that they don't get that local option tax. That stays with the district in which that school is situated. So charter schools usually have to be very creative in the types of funding and allocation of the funds to be able to maintain the same level or even more of student excellence and experience.
Oh, wow. I like that. Yes. I wish I had known about this before. And what else? And then I saw Miss Charlene had posted a comment as well. She said the South Carolina Charter Schools Act of 1996 defines a charter school as a public, non-religious, non-home based, nonprofit corporation forming a school that operates by the sponsorship of a public school district, a South Carolina public charter school district, or a public or independent institution of higher learning, but is accountable to the board of trustees, or in the case of technical colleges, as the area commission of the sponsor, which grants its charter purpose of the charter school. And I was trying to see if I could see the rest of the comment. If it allow me to see, it won't let me see her full comment. I don't know why, but those that are viewing, they will be able to click on her comment and read further. But this is very interesting about the charter schools. And has this program, has it been fully implemented, or is it something that's going to be coming new, or has been fully implemented as of yet?
This has not been fully implemented as of yet. We're still as of I think it's going to be January, and please correct me, ladies, if I'm wrong. We have to submit our application. We've already done our letter of intent, and that was due on November the 1st. And that is to be sent to the State Department of Education. And then also it's a requirement to send also a copy of that to those who we call them the intended or potential sponsors. So we sent those to the letter of intent, the LOI, to those potential sponsors. Now we're in the application period. And the application period, again, correct me, ladies, that's January 1st is when it is due. So I think it's going to be like December, maybe December 31st or something like that, that when we have to have it turned in, if that answers your question. So it's not implemented yet. We're looking at doing it the 26-27 school year, no later than 27-28, but it gives you a year in advance to plan. So our goal is to open it 26-27 school year.
Okay. Well, what can those in the community and parents that may be listening, that may be interested in the charter schools, is there anything that we can do as community or parents that are listening to help implement, help you guys with implementing the process? Is there anything that we can do?
Yes. Ladies, y'all talk first, and then I'll talk. Harriet, go.
For one, they can look out for us at local events that's happening around Timmonsville. We have a fill-in form that they can fill out, basically asking for their input on the charter school, and they can fill that out and just look for us around at different Timmonsville community events.
And you know what else that I thought was, I love the fact that you guys said it's not limited to just Timmonsville. It could be students from Darlington, different counties. I love that. I love that. And then I love that, the fact, because you know how when I was going to school, I've been out of school for a while, but we had to be in a certain zone to go to a certain school.
Yes.
So I like the fact that you don't necessarily have to be from Timmonsville. You can be from Darlington, Florence, or surrounding areas. And you said even as far as Columbia as well?
Yes.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
I love that.
My son, when he graduated back in 2021, 22, I was looking at sending him to Gray Collegiate because he was interested in basketball. And so Gray Collegiate is the schools right there in West Columbia. They're what you call a basketball school. They're sponsored by Nike. So we already did a school visit there. I mean, really all we had to do is say, okay, we're gonna come. He's gonna come to that school. That's all.
Oh,
So
wow.
yes, anyone, you can go to whatever school you choose. As Dr. Regina says, school choice.
Okay. And then Charlene, those of you that are watching and viewing, Charlene posted a survey that you guys can take a few minutes to complete the survey. And I think this is an excellent opportunity for those parents that are watching, those in the community that are interested in charter schools. Like I said, when my son was coming along, I did not fully understand how the charter schools operated. And then in my mind, I was thinking that that there was actually a tuition that we had to pay for the charter schools. So I wasn't fully aware. So I think it's great that you guys came on to educate those, because I was not aware as well. So those are there. I'm sure there are others that are watching and they're learning just as I am, because I wasn't fully aware of how the charter schools work. And then, like Dr. Regina stated, they are also public schools as well, because I always looked at the charter school as being like a private school. I always
Private
looked at the
school.
school as being a
Yeah,
private
yeah.
school with the tuition. So listen, when you don't know, you don't know. So that's what you guys are here for. That's why I'm
Yes.
glad that Dr. Regina broke that down, that it's actually public school as well. And I like the differences, as well as you don't have to be limited to a specific location. You can come from different areas. And I love the fact that the parents' engagement. And
Correct.
I think that makes a difference as well when the
Yes.
parents are fully involved, because I think it's very important for the parents to be engaged in their child's education. I know I was that type of parent, that I was fully engaged in my child's progress. Now, how do you guys that was another question I was going to ask, like when you're selecting parents that are involved, is there like a certain criteria that the parents have to meet to be a part of the process?
I'll
There
take.
is. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take yes. No. Go ahead. Take
Oh,
it. No.
I was going to say that while this particular planning committee is in that stage of developing all of those things, and what happens, I do want to reiterate the process. To get approved to have a charter school, you have to submit the letter of intent, and then January 30th, you submit the application. It goes through a review process, and by May 1st, you're normally notified if that school is authorized, not for the next academic year, but the following academic year. So in this particular
Right.
planning committee's example, they will submit in January of 2026. They'll learn if they've been authorized by May 1st, 2026, and they will be authorized for the 27-28 academic term. Okay. So what happens is that you have a year of planning and out getting resources allocated, getting facilities up to date and things like that, going through all the inspections. But at that time, you kind of decide and you get finalized on all of your operating procedures, your rules, your curriculum. Though you propose those things, you actually begin to implement and put them in place. So one thing that this committee has been doing is visiting other charter schools of excellence throughout the state. And one of them is right there in the PD, is the PD Leadership and Innovation Academy. And a model that we want to adopt from them is their parental involvement piece, where they actually give parents report cards based on their
Oh, wow.
participation, that how they're showing up, how they're serving. And again, they have that criteria. I don't want to speak to their criteria because I'm not asking, I don't want to speak to their criteria,
Yeah.
but it's about showing up. It's about serving. It's about supporting their learners. And they get a report card that is
Wow.
student led. That is student led. So again, it's opening the doors of the schools again, particularly if we have situations where we may have people who may not have had positive learning experiences. So it's bringing in a whole child perspective. We can't educate that child well without having the entire system around that child, including the adults of that child's life, involved in that space.
I love that. And Dr. Mar, I'm calling you Dr. Mar, but Mr. Mar, you had something that you wanted to say as well.
No, hey, listen. That's why she's the chief of staff and and Ms. Harriet director. So I could just think. I don't have. But I was going to say to you, you're so right that it's so imperative. I love this model. I love the charter school model because it's so imperative that we have that parent involvement. I know when I was coming up, when my mom and my father were not as involved, I was a little more freelance, if you understand what I'm saying, a little more freelance. But when I knew that she was coming, knocking on the door of that classroom, and the kids were saying, "Your mama's at the door," yeah, it helped me to stay more focused on what I should be doing on task. So with the parent involvement, to me, it's a model that really cannot fail because the parents are involved, which is so
Right.
key.
Absolutely. Because I was that parent.
Yes,
Showed up with
ma'am.
you not knowing.
Just knock on the door.
Right. And then you notice too, and then my son got to the point where before, like I said, he ended up going to virtual prior to COVID, but it got to the point where he didn't know when I was coming, so he knew to be on his best behavior, because sometimes you can be around your peers, and your peers can, you can be, sometimes kids are easily influenced, but sometimes they know their parents gonna pop up like I was. He knew to be on his best behavior. So I love the plans that you guys are implementing. And is there anything that I can do to like further the mission for you guys? Like you can use my platform or to get the word out, to share this. I would love to like follow up on how this process follows through with you guys. I'm interested in knowing, like, since you guys have done the initiative, to sending out the letter, and you said November 1st, I want you guys to follow up with me to give me like updates so the community is aware of what's going on. And you said it takes you said a year, Dr. Regina, a year of planning. So you're looking at, you said the 27, 28 school
Yes,
year,
sir.
possibly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, and again, we're open for advisors to the board,
Absolutely.
community members and parents who want to see a school come back to the Timminsville community, local businesses. Again, this cannot happen and operate in absence of the community being involved, and that includes our business leaders as well.
Yes.
Our local delegation. If you're listening, yes, we need your support. Just like in a traditional public school, charter schools don't operate well without that community context. And so what's beautiful about the charter school, again, is that there are opportunities to be flexible in how that learning it happens. So if you would like to partner, if it's your resources, your time, helping create internship opportunities, shadowing opportunities, coming in and being a part of the curriculum. If you would like to donate toward the school, because again, there are funding opportunities to help make sure that those schools like the student excellence piece is still there, please reach out. counselingeducation1@gmail.com is currently the email address. And Ms. Charlene has posted in the comments for you to be able to fill out the interest form if you are a prospective parent. So that's bit.ly/T, interest. And thank you again, Ms. Charlene, for posting that in the comments for us. But right now, we want your awareness. We want your questions. We want your input, because this school is for the community. And again, community is broadly defined. Anyone can attend a charter school in South Carolina from any area. Okay. So if you're interested in this type of school where it's that STEM and workforce development focus in the rural context, reach out to us.
Okay.
And let me add, even if you do not have children school age, a community is about us holistically. And so therefore, we all know this, where there's a strong educational system in place, you're going to have a strong community.
Absolutely.
You've seen it globally. But if you take the
Did Mr. Mark freeze?
I think so.
I think yes.
I think so.
Oh my goodness. I don't even think he realized he froze.
And he's still going, y'all. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So, Ms. Tori, what questions do you have? Because I don't think that he knows that we can hear
He
him.
does not know.
What's your
I think he
next
was
question?
talking about if you take the education community out of this, if you take the education system out of the community.
Yeah, he's still talking. You guys basically answered most of the questions that I had.
Oh, he's gone.
Chairman Parker, we didn't hear a word you said.
Am I back?
Do you guys still see him? I don't see him.
No,
No,
I
he's
heard
gone.
him.
Am I back?
I
Okay.
think you're here, but we don't see you. I think if you muted your camera to save some bandwidth, then maybe that's why.
Okay, so I see myself. I don't know why.
Okay, now we see
Okay, we
you.
see you now, but we didn't hear anything you said.
Bad area. It's a bad area. So what I was saying, it was a powerful message too. That was a powerful message.
And we missed it.
So what I was saying is the fact that how you can help us. Number one, several ways. But as I said, where there is no strong educational system in the community, where that's lacking, then so goes that community. But when there is a strong educational system, your community is going to be strong. And we've seen it globally around where someone take a school closed down. We see the community decline. We see stores close. We see tax base drop. We see all these things happen in communities where the educational system no longer exists. So when we look at Timmonsville is the third largest city in Florence County. Third largest city. And it needs its educational system back so it can be a feeder, so it can grow our students. And so how you can further the message is, number one, your followers, we need to contact our local delegation. I mean, ring their phones, email them. We're not being hostile. It's all in peaceful means of getting the education system back to Timmonsville. No one is mad at nothing what happened years ago. Our focus is we have a mission, and that mission is to educate the kids. And who would be against educating the child? Who would be against that? And so that's what we're here for. We're here to bring that educational piece back to Timmonsville. So please contact your local delegation. Let them know there needs to be a strong educational system in Timmonsville. Contact the pastors, because every Sunday, a pastor has the pulpit and have parishioners around them. There should be a consistent message to all of the parents that we need you to be involved. To the delegation, from the pastor standpoint, we need you to be involved to help this come into fruition. Community leaders, parents, everyone, we need you to be involved. So as you scan the QR code or go to the Bitly and take the survey, please let us know. Please let us know. It's so important because we cannot do this alone. We need your help.
Absolutely. And then this is also Ms. Charlene also posted the email. This is an email that they can contact you guys as well.
Yes.
Okay. And like I said, if you guys would like to, if we could do like a follow-up on the process in January or whenever you guys have an update as to how the process is going, I would love to have you guys back if you guys don't mind coming back, because I'm curious to how it's going to implement, how the program is going to be implemented. I am very curious, and like I said, I definitely want to see the program implemented, because I think this is going to be not only good for Timmonsville but all the surrounding areas, because it is needed. It is definitely needed.
And then hopefully we can have some parents on here the next time.
Oh, that would be wonderful, because I think I can have up to, let me research, between 8 to 10 guests possibly. Okay. But let me find out. But it would be great if you could, when you could guys come back, to have some parents, because I think sometimes with the when you have the parents, that may help the process even more, encourage some other parents. So I think that would be Awesome. So you guys definitely be in touch with me to give me an update of how the
Absolutely.
process is going, because I'm excited. I'm excited for the city of Timminsville and surrounding
Yeah.
areas, because like I said, I think this is going to be awesome. And I'm hoping, and I know that the community is going to get involved. And like I said, I will do my part, whatever you guys need from me to do to get the word out and to get the people out. And I'm actually, what I typically do when I go live on the evening, I also re-air it. So I'm going to re-air this broadcast as well this evening, and I'll re-air it a couple times, just to get the word out so people will be aware. But
Thank
we're
you.
gonna set up a time. So once we end the live, I want you guys to hang on backstage so we can kind of set a date for us to do a follow-up. And Miss Harriet, is there anything you want to say? Anything else you want to say? Because you didn't do too much talking tonight.
No, man.
Shy, just so shy.
I'm not a talker.
I'm trying to break, Miss Tori, I'm trying to break out of that. She's just so shy.
Yeah, but that's why I want to make sure. And is there any final words you guys want to say? And let me see what else Charlene said. She said you may read more about the work being done on page 45 of the October 2025 issue of Diversity Works magazine. Get a copy or read online today. And all the comments that are on Miss Charlene comments, they'll still be there. And so any other information that guys want to post later, you can definitely do that. But I'll re-air it. I'll re-air it around 8:30 or so. And like I said, is there any other final words before we end the podcast? Because I don't want to take up you guys Sunday evening.
I'm going to defer. Number one, I just say again, thank you very much for Ms. Turk for allowing us to be on your podcast. That means a lot. Any avenue, media, whatever it may be, word of mouth, that can further this message, we need it. So again, on behalf of the Council of Education, we want to say thank you for having us on your show. Ladies,
You're welcome.
Dr.
And
Cypher,
anything
Ms.
else,
Harriet.
Miss Dr. Virginia or well, I know Miss Harriet's not gonna have much to say, but any final closing words before we end the live? And like I said, when I end the live, once we go up, I want you guys to hang on backstage for a second because I want to talk to you after the live. But any other things, anything you want to add, Dr. Regina?
I just want to tell parents, particularly, that don't be so afraid of the word school choice. While school choice does include private, school choice also includes diversifying the options that you have for creating the best educational experience for your child. So the reality is that traditional public schools don't necessarily work for every learner. Okay. So do your research. The Charter School Act of 1996, y'all, has been out there, and now you're seeing it emerge in a lot of ways because of what's happening federally with, decentralizing education in that way. So what that creates is opportunities for states now to have to be responsive to school choice. So do your research, look around, see what's the best opportunity for your learner. If it's the traditional public school systems, by all means, continue to support that space. But do the research on what's going to be best for your kid. Because a lot of parents always ask me, what's the best school in the area? And my response is the one that you're going to be involved in. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for having us, Ms. Tori.
You're welcome.
And we look forward to coming back and joining you with additional updates as they emerge.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you guys for watching. If you missed the opportunity to see the beginning of the podcast, I'm actually going to re-air it. I'll say around 8:30 or so. I'm going to re-air the podcast. But if you have any questions, make sure you guys reach out to them. Here is this is a survey that Charlene put up. You can go and take the survey to tell about your interest in the program. And then here is also, I'm trying to see the email. Hang on, let me find the email. And here is the email that you can possibly. And do you guys also have do you guys have like a social media page as of yet, or that hasn't been? Is there anything like a social media, or these are just the two options that people from the community or parents can reach out?
Harriet?
For the school, we don't, but we do have a council on education page on Facebook.
Okay. And what is it? Is it you said it's Council for Education on Facebook?
Council on Education.
Council on Okay. As that was okay. Council on Education on Facebook, and like I said, here's the email, and here is the survey. So, like I said, I'm going to re-air the podcast around 8:30, and we're going to end. I want you guys to have a great evening, and thank you all for watching and tuning in. You guys have a blessed remaining of your evening. I'm wishing you a blessed week ahead. And once again, as I always say at the end of each podcast, whatever you go through in this thing called life, you may bend, but don't you dare break. And remember to always keep the faith. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Be blessed.